Good morning. Amashe. I am monarch Thomas Edgar Brown of the National Khoisan Kingdom of South Africa, and which is south of the equator. And next to me is our monarchy, the Queen Janet Brown of Southern Africa. Now, I am asked to please explain myself. Yes, I will do it for the reason of we have to rewrite our history. We have to rewrite it because of all the histories of time is being engineered to suit the regimes who was governing and ruling this country. Now we have to start all over again as a proud nation. We have found it ourselves and among ourselves in brotherhood. We found all the kings and all the queens who was then lost off in the times of our own beloved country. Now let's start off. I am Thomas Edgar Brown. My blood lineage is from way back to Richards Bay, which is the cradle of mankind. From Richards Bay, it goes through Africa right up into the house of Abraham, which is explained in the Bible. Out of your lineage, I will fill the earth. That is what Rob said, what we call Jehovah in 999 languages. He has different names. Now my lineage starts right out of the house of Isaac, which was Abraham's son. She is a woman called Nahiti, a woman that came out of the desert. Now, let's hold on there, the desert that came out of the desert. But Isaac had 7 sons and 1 daughter from this woman that came out of the desert. Now, if we know that Africa was called Africa by the French regime, but it wasn't, it was Abulain. She came out of the desert of Abulain. Abulain is Africa. Then God said, you must go leave her with her children. And Isaac left her in the direction of Abulain, the desert. And Isaac blessed Africa by calling it Abulain. Nahiti then left south through the African continent. As she left south in the African continent, her sons stood behind where they found its fertile land, and there, according to God's word, they will multiply. And which did happen right through Ethiopia, that even today Israel is claiming the Ethiopians is their brothers. They are Israelites, they are Jews. And she moved more south, Nahiti, where she went over the Mozambican Channel. And she went through the Mozambican Channel and moved further south where there is no more land, which is Cape Town, the now known Cape Town province. And she stood, and her children, grandchildren stood in the Elephant's Eye, the cave, Table Mountain. There my beginning start in word of mouth history, said over and over again. Now, we know the Princess Valley that runs through Tukai, Constantia, through Athlone, right into the sea, the river, at Princess River. Why it is called Princess River? Because one of my great-grand aunts have drowned there. And they called it die Prinsesrivier in Afrika. Now, what happened now with the Interpol Commission investigation 2007 to 2009, they came to find out that my blood lineage was buried in Tukai, Constantia, on a slavery grave which Sir William of the Klipkerk and the Klip House, Stone House, has created that graveyard for slaves. And they were buried in that graveyard. That is why today there is a monument of myself being laid there on that graveyard. That is the second one registered after the monument of Nelson Mandela. It is also registered as a tourism attraction. Now let's move on. Now my grandmother, she was a young, beautiful lady. In 1887, she then met a young English-British soldier with the outbreak of the Anglo-Boer War. Because they used to exchange fresh horses from kraal to kraal as they go into the villages, which they call black people, which I deny that any person calling himself a black person should be tried and charged for that. For there is no black. We talk about dark pigment. That is a respectful way you look at your fellow man. He's a darker pigment than me, or I with them. Now let's carry on. The outbreak 1899 with the Anglo-Boer War against the Englishmen, as they exchanged fresh horses from village to village, she then and my grandfather fell then in love, and 3 sons were born. Because my mother is the granddaughter of Mtetwa of Richards Bay. Now, let me go to the surname Mtetwa so that we understand who was my mother, which my father got married to. Now, when Zulu came with his followers to the Mozambican Channel, where the Limpopo runs into the river, they were fully covered with cow skin. They didn't wear this clothing, the cultural attire. They didn't wear it. Now, they met my great-grandfather. And my great-grandfather couldn't understand him, Zulu, because he speaks Swahili language. And my great-grandfather was speaking the first Aboriginal language of this country. By then, Zulu then addressed my grandfather, this is the law, this man. This man is the law. And by him, I will ask permission to come in this country. Then, my people of my grandfather then addressed my great-grandfather as Mtetwa Lubaba. No, Mtetwa means the law, not T-H-M-T-E-T-W-A, Mtetwa. Kusho ukuthi the law for Mtetwa sekhaya. Kusho ukuthi Mnigas is the owner of this country. Now, my mother, my biological mother was a princess, a granddaughter of him. Unbelievable when I worked it out.